Good morning. All right. Tell me they lost the signal. Hopefully they'll get it back. Yes, these are radar maps on my shoes. You can buy them from Nike. They make them for all the weather geeks out there. And we do a lot of weather products, but a lot of my focus in the last 2 years has been the intersection of the mobile device with weather. And that's enabled us to do some important things. The biggest thing we did was to create a new model. So historically, there are 158 governments and universities around the world that do weather forecasting, original weather forecasting, for about 2.3 million locations. And if you're reading it in the newspaper, getting it off television, or even filing a flight plan, that was enough because it was all the airports. But we actually cared about the weather between the airports as well and the weather wherever you are. So we spent a lot of time to build a new model on top of ingesting all those, which now does 3.2 billion locations, which means when you're checking on your phone, it's more accurate. And I think you're all seeing that on the phone. But we also have a lot of other products, including one for pilots, and that's the one I was going to show today. Because for pilots, it was important that we know every airport, but that we also know what's happening in the atmosphere. So we put sensors on the wings of planes. We work with 120 commercial airlines, and with tens of thousands of private pilots. In fact, 40,000 pilots a day use the app I'm going to show you. And getting the wings on the data off planes, on sensors on the wings, has enabled us to be even better at predicting in the atmosphere, not just on the ground. That means when we're predicting areas of turbulence where you can't land, we can make the area much smaller. So that means there's less chance to delay a flight. We also can better understand turbulence, so that they better understand how to go around it and how to go above it. And in fact, American Airlines just released that we have reduced turbulence in partnership with them by 70% with this product in the last year. So those of you who have a less turbulent flight home, I hope you'll appreciate the Internet of Things and weather apps. I have no idea if it's ever going to come on. So somebody want to help me? Otherwise, I can do it verbally. It's not there, though. All right, well, listen, I guess I've got this. While she's doing that, I think the first thing you need to understand is what's going to happen in Aspen. So we have been studying Aspen. The reason why this is such a tough airport is that it only has one runway, and it goes in one direction. A lot of people follow the weather looking at thunderstorms, convective activity. That's actually going to be okay. Your issue is wind. If you get wind over 10 knots going the same direction as the runway, a plane can't land, because if it lands, it won't stop by the end of the runway. And so that's why they delay so many flights coming in, and that's why it's difficult to get out. Today, right now, the winds don't look so bad. Winds do pick up with storms, so it looks like the planes will come in order to get people out. I would be checking if your flight's after about 2 or 3 o'clock, because there will be thunderstorms, there will be more wind activity. And again, if the wind isn't right, if the wind's too fast and it's at that exact direction, unlike any other airport, they don't have another runway to direct you to. So, so that's that part. If we ever see the map, and if not, you're welcome to go download WSI Pilot Brief off the App Store. It is a subscription business, but it's 14 days free, so just use it once. What you'll see, because I tried to map out for you the route from Aspen to Teterboro today, because I thought at least would give people a sense of what's happening east and west. What you will see is there's a couple of points of turbulence, but it's not too bad. There are thunderstorms out in the ocean, but they look like they're going to stay that way, so you should be able to land okay. Looking at the whole country, if you're going to Miami, it's probably going to be more bumpy on the landing down, and if you're heading west, you're totally fine as usual. So, with that, I think I'm going to let us go on to the next speaker. Oh, now it works? Oh, so there we go. You want to know what I was saying? You stay up late, you set your alarm, you come in here at 7 for rehearsal, and it still breaks. But anyway, it's a great app. This is the map, and then we have different layers, which is great. So I will first add the cloud, the storm, so you see where they are. And luckily, they're a little bit over. So we're we're here at Aspen Airport. You see some storms around Denver, nothing that's going to delay you. When you take off from Denver to go the rest of the way, it's the middle of the country where you see some storm activity. And we go pretty deep. So these are all the radar stations. And when you go down on them, the pilots can actually know exactly each of these little arrows tell you where the storm will be in 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and an hour, which is really helpful for them to understand what's going on. And as I told you, the East Coast is really something else. These red areas are really bad. This means it's a significant weather event, and you may have trouble landing. So if you're going to Florida, maybe not. When I take something else, you can see them all. These added blobs are the ones we've done with the wings. So the red is a convective storm, otherwise known as lightning. That tends to be tougher turbulence. What it tells me, if you could read down here, it's flight level 430 to 390. So it says you've got to get above 430,000 feet in order to go over the lightning and avoid it, or you have to steer around that area. The green area is more modest turbulence driven by wind, and that's manageable. You will have to wear your seatbelt. And I would say we do a pretty good job of telling people where it is so they can maneuver around it. So you got a couple of tough ones on your way to New York. You've got more of you going to Florida, and that's the way we do it. And the other thing, for people who really care about lightning, we actually do put the lightning on so you can see it, and that updates every minute. The sensors on the wings, again, are very helpful for us to know when the lightning's coming. Some of you may be good, like I am, good in avid users of Waze. Think of this as Waze for flying. All the planes that are in the sky right now are helping to make sure you have the least amount of turbulence and the best chance of taking off today. And I would say again, well, we've got issues over, when to go to our airport, well, we've got issues in our airport, chances are you're going to be fine until later in the afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David.
Travel safely.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I can't decide if I want to know this information or if I don't want to know this information.
You can do it.
But I'm glad the pilots know the information.
Good enough. Take care.
Okay, whether it comes to a flaw in the code or a malicious virus, our internet security is vulnerable. What are we doing to protect it? Are we putting our efforts in the right place? Or as we said in the program, what keeps us up at night from a security perspective? Michael Schrage from MIT is going to lead a discussion of panelists, and I'm glad to say that all of them saw the interview that he did yesterday afternoon, and they're still coming back to do an interview with him today. And so I give you Michael Schrage and his panel.